Hello everyone, and welcome to Karenia's Room. So, as of the current recording of this video, we are still a little bit left of the summer 2023 anime season, but I felt like I wanted to get a jump on this particular video because I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to do recordings and working at the last minute, so let's get into what we have. So, the format of this video, I will say, is going to be a little bit different in the sense that previous videos have been all about shows which I will be watching, and everything else has kind of just been off to the wayside. But I've recently decided that we're going to have a chance to watch every show that I feasibly can watch every season. However, the shows that are in these videos are the ones that caught my eye the most. If that sounds good to you, then let's get into the video, shall we? Starting off our video, we're going to be getting into one of the long-awaited sequels that has come out since the past year, Spy Family Season 2. So it has been, and it probably will be, about a full calendar year since we've had our last installment of the wonderful Lloyd and Yor and Anya together, and now we are finally getting it in the upcoming season. As someone who is not exactly a manga reader, I've read a few chapters, but I haven't really caught up to anything. I don't really know what we're going to be getting into, but that's kind of the fun of it, because there are certain series where I think if I read ahead in the manga, it may not be as exciting, but I do think that what we will get in this will be fun. It's cute. If you don't know Spy Family by now, it is the story of a spy and an assassin who are living as a kind of pretend married couple with their mind reader daughter, quote-unquote, Anya, and they are all living their normal life and while doing their jobs respectively and solving mysteries. It's great fun, and it's more lighthearted in tone, so it's nothing that's going to be like super exciting and actiony, but if you like slice of life, this might be for you. This is Season 2, I'm not going to really say too much about it, but if you want to watch Spy Family, I would recommend giving it a shot, if this is the kind of thing that you're into. Give it a couple episodes, I'm not going to force you, but give it a couple episodes, see what you think, and if you like it, Season 2 is quite on the way, so I'm holding my excitement there, I'll say that much. But let's get into something that's kind of new. This is a show called The Apothecary Diaries. So I am not familiar with this particular series. This is based on a light novel of a similar title, and this seems to be, I'm not sure if it's a period piece exactly, but it is a historical piece that is based on a girl named Mao Mao, who works in the imperial court, and she's kind of like a medicine woman, and she comes to form a sort of friendly relationship with a eunuch named Jin Shi, who I guess is going to be her partner in crime as they go on to solve various medical mysteries in ancient China. Now that alone, and been based on what I've seen from the trailer, because there is at least one little teaser PV that I've seen, I think it looks pretty. I'm quite interested in this kind of more historical piece, especially for ancient China, because it's not really a place that I tend to focus on. But from what I have seen of it, I do think it might be kind of interesting. I'm holding hopes for it because lately we've had some good stuff coming out of Studio OLM, which is the studio that is currently releasing Dark Gathering. And as far as mystery goes, we currently have Undead Murder Farce in the same season, which has been quite a great show. So I'm hoping that these two things combined together will have something that will produce a rather good show. Because the current source material is actually rated rather high on MyAnimeList considering. So it gives me hope. And also as a sucker for historical pieces, yes please. Next up on our list, we have a bit of a change of pace in this one, as we've gone from a kind of slice-of-life action-y show to a more historical mystery piece, and now into the typical school romance, let's go with. So this is Our Dating Story, The Experienced You and the Inexperienced Me. I think that's just where that title ends at. So this, from what I see of the trailer and the description, is we have a rather generic-looking main character who's kind of this introverted boy, and he has a big crush on the very outgoing and cute Gyaru girl named Runa Shirakawa, And one of these days he proposes that he likes her, and they end up dating. So this is kind of one of, this unsuspecting kind of lonely boy meets with the beautiful girl, and then they date, and then we go on from there. We've seen this a fair amount of times already, but I mean, hey, the art style is cute enough to make me want to give this one a watch. And looking at the cast list, it has quite a few names in here that really speak to me, because these are a lot of names that I know, and I'm fine with that. So this is an anime by Studio NG, and NG, E-N-G-I, they're probably mostly known for stuff like the adaptation of Uzaki-chan, as well as The Detective Is Already Dead and the Trapped in a Dating Sim anime, which came out a couple seasons ago, I think. I've not seen the other two, and I don't really plan to, but I have seen their Uzaki adaptation, and it is quite nice. In general, I'm just a fan of Uzaki, so that's always good. So I'm having hopes that this could translate well into a decent enough anime. I'm not expecting anything revolutionary. You kind of get what's on the tin based on the teasers that you've probably been seeing clips from as the video's been going on. Don't really have too much to say about this one. I'll be checking this one out, and let's see if this is going to be a good romance or a bad romance. Because at the very least, the main girl is kind of cute. That's all I can say about that one. Next up, yet another change of pace. We are going to be talking about Undead Unluck. So this, in particular, is another one. I mean, most of these properties I've never heard of before. But this is a show that's going to be animated by the famous studio David Production. If you are familiar with David Production at all, I mean, you may know them from some things like Cells at Work, Fire Force, and, I mean, of course, JoJo. They're the JoJo studio. So this is an anime about a girl who has been extremely blessed or cursed, you could say, with a stream of extreme misfortune and bad luck to anyone that ever comes into contact with her. So she has a desire to end her life, as you do, because you don't want to cause harm to the people that come in close with you. One day, as she is about to actually do the deed, a strange man comes up and touches her, which brings misfortune upon him and leads to him apparently falling into a train and dying. But it is later discovered that he is immortal because he starts regenerating right in front of her and is kind of this insane undead being who can just regenerate himself even in like some crazy situations. But much like our main girl here, this man right here named Andy, great name by the way, also wishes to seek death, but as an immortal, that is not essentially a very easy thing to come across. While in the background, there is another mysterious organization that is looking to seek after these people for their special hidden talents. We are going to be trying to encourage death, I guess, amongst these two. It's a cast that looks like it's full of some very mysterious but very whimsical supernatural kind of creatures. Not to mention, of course, that the main character himself can literally regenerate from a head, which is interesting, but we have like an eyeball-looking creature here and some other very interesting-looking people. So this is going to be a more shonen kind of action with a lot of crazy people and fighting and all this. What is there to really say about it? I'm not familiar with this piece of material, but I have faith in David Production that they're going to make something good out of this, because at least based on the trailers, I want this to succeed. This looks awesome. But with the manga, or is it the light novel or manga, the original, it doesn't have the highest of scores, but I don't think that should necessarily influence my opinion. I do want something like this to succeed because I'm getting into a lot of more of these supernatural-ish kind of shows, and I mean, hey, who can go for a little bit of action? I can. If you think this looks interesting to you, because I'm probably already showing clips of it on the screen, give it a watch. This is going to be coming out, I don't know exactly when it says here. October. So I guess a lot of these are coming out in October. So look forward to Undead Unluck, because I know I sure will. Next up, we have a rather unusual kind of show here. This is a show that's titled, at least on MyAnimeList, is called Heat the Pig Liver, the story of a man turned into a pig. That's a hell of a title, I'll tell you that. As the synopsis says, an unappealing otaku awakens in the body of a pig after he passes out while eating raw pig liver. Very interesting, as you normally do, just eat raw pig liver. The pig finds himself in the company of Jess, this girl here on the screen, an innocent girl who can read people's minds, and she accepts him despite his boorish thoughts. Although she does plan to eat him. Okay. When Jess is in danger of succumbing to a dark destiny, can Pig save her using only his quick wits, wisdom, and refined sense of smell? Well, we will find out. From the previews that I've seen and from the description alone, it seems it's mostly what you're getting on the tin, but, you know, obviously it's a whole show, so we're going to see maybe a little bit more than just what we're seeing here. As it states itself, guy is put into the body of a pig. I don't know if you'd call this isekai. I probably would. I don't know. But he is in the body of a pig now with a girl who can read his mind. So at least that's a little bit more useful than Vending Machine Isekai that's currently airing right now, where they can't exactly know what he's saying. So, I mean, that's nice. The art itself looks fine, even if I think the main girl looks a bit, I don't know, unsettling. And I'm curious about what's the choker for, but maybe I shouldn't ask questions. This is a show that is made by Studio Project Number 9, who I've mentioned before in my other video, but this is the studio that is known for My Tiny Senpai, which is actually currently airing right now. If you want an idea of what other shows they've done, I mean, they have a whole list, but this is the one that's the current airing one. So I don't really know what else to say about this one. It's just kind of, I don't know, we get a man in a pig's body, and it's got a nice cast. We got the main pig, I guess, and the woman, who are being voiced by two really well-renowned VAs, so at least you got the voice cast for this. Apparently this is based on a light novel that I've never heard of, but the only reason I'm really checking this one out is because the title and the picture really intrigued me. Because, I mean, hey, how many times have you seen somebody get reincarnated into the body of a pig? Probably not very many. But that's all I have to say about that. Let's get on to the next show, which is, and I have to reread this carefully just to get it completely correctly, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. And yes, that is 5 reallys. Because in the Japanese, for the word daisuki, it's daisuki. So it is an actual title, and it's a fun title to say. So there you go. The concept of this show is about a boy named Rentaro Aijo, and he has been rejected quite a lot of times. As is known, he's been rejected 100 times, and that's a lot of times. So in an attempt, he goes to a shrine and he prays and that he wants a girlfriend, as one tends to do. However, this day, he's actually blessed. A god says, you know, pity my son. I will bless you with the ability to have a girlfriend. However, the catch is, he will not be blessed with one girlfriend. He will be blessed with 100 girlfriends. One for every one that ever rejected him. So at first, naturally, he would be skeptical of this, as one would tend to do, because after being rejected so many times, how are you going to get 100 girlfriends like that? I don't know. However, there's part of the catch is that any girl who is going to become a soulmate of his, they have to confess the very same day. And if the confession somehow ends up failing and they do not get into a relationship, they die. They just straight up die.
Yo, it's the dude from Fortnite.
Man, I'm dead.
Isn't that great? So this is going to, I guess, be, you know, the harem girl of the week. How many girlfriends can we get in this span of time? Because any girl that we have to meet will have to confess. And if all goes wrong, she will be biting the bullet, I guess. So, I mean, that already sounds very weird, but very interesting at the same time. I'm not going to lie. I'm watching it mostly based on that plot line alone, because I want to see just how this unfolds. And this is an anime production that is being made by Studio Bibury, or Bibury Animation Studios. who I mostly know for doing seasons 2 and the movie of the Quintessential Quintuplets, as well as they did the Azure Lane anime adaptation some years ago. And also the Magical Destroyers anime, which came out, I think, a couple seasons ago, which had some people talking, but then also kind of fell off a cliff from what I've heard, so unfortunate. But they are coming back now and making this, and I'm hoping this is good just to see what the show is going to get for comments every week, because I like to people watch. I like to see what people are talking about certain shows like this one or Rent a Girlfriend for this season, and other ones that are kind of more trashy that get like a lot more notoriety, I suppose, because those tend to always be the funniest comment sections. Anyway, I'm going to be looking forward to this one, and I don't have too much more to say on that one. So let's move on to our second to last show on the list, which is going to be Shangri-La Frontier. Simply put, this is an anime about a high school student who has a very keen interest in essentially bringing out his angry video game nerd and playing and finding shitty games.
Fred, fuck!
However, he just likes to beat them and be like the complete king of min-max and everything that he can be. So when he hears about a specific new game, a VR game to be specific, as you do, called Shangri-La Frontier, naturally he's inclined to play it. And so he will be taking on his painstaking adventure to min-max the shit out of this game and see how good he can be at it. And funny adventures will assume altogether. This poster looks very interesting, as I assume he is the main character here with the big blue bird head, which I love. It's great. I love it. So this is going to be animated by Studio C2C, which I mostly know for making Wandering Witch: The Journey of Elena, one of my favorite shows. I believe it was from 2021 or 2020, one of those years, as well as recently they had made Otaku Elf, as well as they're also the studio behind Hitori Bochi. This one on the screen, because I made the joke before, it's not Bochi from Bochi the Rock, it's Bochi from Hitori Bochi. Anyway, so I mean, you kind of get what you hear on the title. It's a guy who wants to play shitty games, and he finds one, and he has accepted the challenge to be the best at it. And hey, I'm down for that. I love the idea of that. As someone who generally likes watching videos and stuff about shitty games or movies, and, you know, it's kind of like, I think everybody can understand that to some extent. So many people love Mystery Science Theater 3000. Many people liked watching videos from Angry Video Game Nerd and all this of them criticizing bad movies and bad video games. So I think naturally this might appeal to some people, myself included. I don't know how good this is going to be, but the cast alone looks like it's actually well jam-packed with a lot of people that I know and love. So, I'm having hopes. C2C, please don't let me down on this one. And finally, I saved one of the more popular ones for last because I didn't want to end this video on kind of like a weak note. So let's talk about Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. So the description for this, because I have not been familiar with this title, goes as follows. The Demon King has been defeated, and the victorious hero party returns home before disbanding. The four, Mage Frieren, Hero Himmel, Priest Heiter, and Warrior Eisen, reminisce about their decade-long journey as the moment to bid each other's farewell arrives. But the passing of time is different for elves, thus Frieren witnesses her companions slowly pass away, one by one. Before his death, Heiter manages to foist a young human apprentice called Fern onto Frieren. Driven by the elf's passion for collecting a myriad of magic spells, the pair embarks on a seemingly aimless journey, revisiting the places that the heroes of yore had visited. Along their travels, Frieren slowly confronts her regrets of missed opportunities to form deeper bonds with her now deceased comrades. Damn, I mean, based on that alone, it's a little sad, honestly. Because it's always the story, right? When you have like fantastical races and then just human characters and certain things, or characters that don't live too long, you'll always have like that one character who you see like it. I hate to make it a comedic sense, but it's like the regular show meme. I'll have it on the screen where you have all the regular show characters, and at the very end you have the one guy left and everybody else is dead. It's kind of like that. But I mean, hey, this looks very pretty, and I've heard a lot of great things about Frieren Beyond Journey's End. It's based off of a manga that I've not read, but according to the score on MyAnimeList, it is really well rated at an 8.62, which for manga on this website is actually pretty high. We have a pretty solid voice cast, and we have a pretty solid studio behind the show, which is Studio Madhouse, who, among other things, has made quite a few shows that are of note, like Death Note, One Punch Man Season 1, Hunter x Hunter 2011, No Game No Life, Paradise, Overlord, etc., etc., etc. They have made a ton of very well-known and also at times well-loved shows. So I have my hopes in Studio Madhouse for making this because they're also the studio that made one of my personal favorite shows, which is A Place Further Than the Universe, which made it into my top 10 list in my video back some months or maybe even a year at this point ago. And then the very interesting thing that is also being told about this is that the very first episode is going to be 2 hours long. Now, I know that there are certain shows that could benefit from having a bit more of a brief runtime, and some of them could also benefit from having a longer runtime. Telling by how popular Frieren apparently is, I'm sure this 120 minutes should be at least something worth watching, because I haven't been entirely blown away by such a long first episode since Oshinoko, because we haven't really gotten anything past that length. We've gotten maybe a double-length episode for, Atelier Ryza, for example, but that wasn't all that interesting. Oshinoko was fantastic, but 2 hours long for a first episode. I'm hoping that it will deliver, because you're putting a lot of stake if you're making your first episode that long. Because to me, that says you have confidence in what you're putting out, because you have to be some kind of confident to put out an episode of that length for a show on its first episode. So I'm praying that this is going to be good. I don't want any of these shows to fail. I really don't. And I hope that what I'm looking forward to here will be something magical. But with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. As I've mentioned before, this is not just the only things I will be watching. As from this point on, I've made it sort of a thing that I will watch everything that comes out each season. But these are the particular shows that I saw, and I'm like, all right, I've got to check these ones out. And that's what I'm doing. So if any of your particular look forward to shows, which is a weird way of saying that, didn't make it onto this list, don't worry. As long as it's not a sequel to something I haven't seen, like Dr. Stone or Girlfriend or something like that, I will watch it. So don't you worry about that. But if you have any suggestions for stuff that I really should give a chance to, please leave them in the comments below, and I will surely get to your comment. But with that being said, my name is Karenia. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and check out for anything more. But that's it for me. My name is Karenia. And don't forget, you're always welcome in Karenia's room. See ya!